Oh, hey folks, welcome back to the Pterodome. Today I'm just having a bit of a day off and relaxing, but the mail has arrived, so I figured I'd open some up and see what's in there. The Relic. Yeah, pretty good movie. Jaws 3. Yeah, that's some fun laughs there. What's this? Ooh. Some Nag Champa. Not bad. Deep Blue Sea. Rogue. Yeah, that's a good, possibly the best crocodile movie ever made. What have we got here? Oh, there's only two things left. We've got, there's a letter here. It says Pterodome 3000. Let's have a look. I don't usually get letters like this. I don't recognise it. It says, Dear Pterodome, what do you think about the T-Rex paddock and how it's very, very deep? It's always bothered me watching it, and it didn't make sense. Hashtag plot holes. Kind regards, Joe Willard from YouTube. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. What happens with the T-Rex paddock in Jurassic Park? Well, it's a good subject because a lot of people get confused by how the T-Rex can smash through the fence and walk into the paddock, yet, a few minutes later you see the car get pushed down this giant ravine. Yeah, what happens with that? Well, from my understanding, there was originally going to be a scene where the T-Rex dragged the car further down the road to then push it off. But this obviously wasn't filmed, and there's no shot in the film, or as far as we know, it wasn't filmed, but there's no shot in the film where the T-Rex actually drags the car. However, if you watch in the film, when the two tour cars are driving around the island, they're very close together for the most part of the movie. And when there's a shot where, the two cars, when they see the goat for the first time, the camera pans up and you can quite clearly see ground there. And obviously the T-Rex needs to stand on ground to get up there. So, what is going on with that? I know Hammond mentioned moats at the beginning of the film. He says, to Gennaro in the jeeps before they see the Brachiosaurus. He says, everything's in place, the motion sensors, the blah blah blah, and the moats are in place, the concrete moats, and that is what is, what the car is thrown down. So. My guess was that, and I think a lot of fans agree with this, that the ground around the paddock sort of is, the paddock's up here, the ground is at the bottom, but then there's this raised level that comes up to the fence and then down. Just a very small section that means that the T-Rex, the goat comes up on that section and that lures the T-Rex to the fence at that one. So it has to walk up a hill, essentially. There's not really anything in the film to show that that's the case for the most part. It does really look like the T-Rex just walks on air. But there are some subtle pieces of evidence. Like, for example, you can see when Ellie is looking down to see the car, you can see that there's some trees that actually don't look like they're that far down. They look like they're actually high up. Another thing to mention is the cars themselves are very close together for the most part of the film, but when it comes to the T-Rex breakout, they seem to sort of get further apart, so the other car is actually really further away from the other one. And when the T-Rex breaks through, it's in the middle of the two cars. There's that one of the most famous shots of the T-Rex roaring in between the two cars, and it looks close to both of them, yet you cut to the next sequence when Grant and Malcolm are looking through the windshield of their car, the T-Rex roaring. It's close to their car, but the other tour car is actually quite far away, so I don't know. Maybe the T-Rex doesn't really need that much land to walk close to the fence. It's quite confusing, I have to admit, but it's something that I just overlook for the most part because, Jurassic Park's a freaking awesome movie, so, there we go. But I would say that maybe off screen the T-Rex dragged the car a little bit further down the road. I mean, you see when Ellie's looking for them, there's all that debris on the floor, and it kind of sort of curves a little bit, even though when the T-Rex does push it, it spins it on the spot. But unless there's some other form of actually seeing that, maybe in future movies, I don't know, where they show the T-Rex paddock and then they can show you how the ground goes up to that one section, so the moat, rises to one section of the fence. Who knows? I mean, that would play into the whole chaos theory. I think if there was like literally one section where the ground meets the fence and that happens to be where the T-Rex, they put the goat right next to that section, so you're almost asking the T-Rex to break through the fence there. I wish it was kind of established a little bit more in the film. It is a little bit confusing, but let's just say it makes for one hell of an action sequence and scary, tension-filled T-Rex sequence, and the grand entrance of the Jurassic Park T-Rex. So can't really complain too much. But there you go. I hope that sort of helps you out a little bit with that scene, Joe Willard. Thanks for writing in. If you have any more queries about Jurassic Park or any other movies that you'd like me to talk about, send them in, and I will probably receive them in the mail pod. But what the hell is this? Good God. Anaconda on a tiny, tiny table.